What the heart wants, it should get. In this video, I'll be talking to us about 3 tips on how to get what our heart wants in spite of the prevailing circumstances. If you're new to this channel, my name is Adedeji Ila and I'm a lawyer turned storyteller and designer. The National Library of Medicine in the United States conducted a survey in 2013 of 1,000 men and 1,000 women, wanting to find out how many men versus how many women follow their hearts or their heads. And the results were quite shocking. 62% of the women that they surveyed followed their hearts, while 42% of the men followed their heads. And it's quite telling that this is the statistics back in 2013. Many of us follow our heads today based on the information we've been given. But how would it feel to actually follow your heart? I'll tell you a story. There's a young boy called Ayo in Osogbo in Nigeria. He was born into a family of 3 kids. He was the second born and the only boy. His father wanted desperately a boy, but it took a while for the boy to come. And when Ayo finally arrived, his father had plans. Like every parent has plans. His father felt he was going to be the person who took up his footsteps to be the village hunter, because he got satisfaction from being someone who was prominent, who was well respected and well reserved in that particular village at that time. But there was a challenge. Ayo did not want to be a hunter, and he found it difficult to tell his father. So from the age of 7 to the age of 18, he stomached his dad's idea of going with him to the forest to hunt all the time. His father kept on nudging him. Pay attention, Ayo. It's important to know where to set the traps, where to put them. What kind of animals do we hunt in every season? And he went on, and Ayo was exacerbated. So on a particular day, they went into the forest to hunt, and they got back. Ayo felt the need to go and talk to his grandma, whose hut was not too far from their house. So on approaching his grandma's house, her name is Nana Ada, she said, "Grandma, I need your help." His grandma looking up at him, not noticing whether his head was down or whether he was unhappy or he had any burden on his shoulder. His mom said, "Grab a seat." His grandma said, "Grab a seat." As he sat down, Ayo started to offload. "My father expects so much of me. He desires that I follow in his footsteps, but my heart is saying something else. But how do I tell my father?" His grandma patiently listened for about 15 minutes, and then she raised her head. It says, "The person who knows he's lost has halfway found their way home. You have to discover what your heart wants. Your father's part is set already, but your journey is your journey and you have to discover it yourself." Not sure what to make of what his grandma said, he prodded. "So what do I do? Should I tell my father? Or should I not tell my father? I'm afraid to break his heart." His granny said, "That is a decision you're going to have to take yourself." So the next morning, with his eager dad, ready to go into the forest again to hunt, his father said, "Ayo, grab the guns, grab the machetes and grab the traps." And they went out. Downcast with the same burden over again, he wasn't sure what to do. But as they were approaching into the forest, he said to his father, "Dad, I need to tell you something, and it's really important." His father, not sure what he was going to say, he told his father, "I've been coming to the forest with you since I was 7, and I'm not sure I want to be a hunter like you." His father, shocked but not surprised, smiled and held his shoulders and said, "Ayo, I knew for a very long time you were not paying attention each time we came into the forest. I knew for a very long time you were quite distracted when I told you to grab things when we were coming to the forest. I wasn't sure what you wanted to do. So what do you want to do?" his father asked. Ayo, shocked and exacerbated, that "I have been carrying this burden for this long. Yet my father is not crossed or unhappy with me." So Ayo proceeded to say he's not sure yet, but he's willing to try a few things to start understanding what his heart feels or where his heart was leading. So what is the moral of this story you want to find out? Is the fact that our hearts always tell a story. In this world today, we call it the gut feeling. There are times in our life, at a particular point, we say to ourselves, I think I should have taken the other decision because I felt my gut was saying so. The gut you're talking about is your heart. Sometimes our gut feelings are the right feelings. I'm not saying it's right all the time, but most of the time when it comes to very important decisions, our gut feeling is always the feeling that we need to go with. So what are these 3 key things that we can learn from Ayo's story? First, we need to ensure that we understand what our heart is saying per time. What situation are you in right now? And what have you felt about that situation? This takes exercise and experience, but the earlier the better we start, the better for us. Like my spiritual father will always say, there's no time better than now. The second thing you need to put into consideration is have daily reflections. One of the things I've come to realize in our journey in life is situations and circumstances will happen to us on a regular basis and they will not differ from one another. I'll give you a good example. When you find yourself in a conflicting relationship with a friend that you've been friends with for a long time and you're not sure what to do in that situation, you tend to defer more to what someone's counsel or someone's advice has said to you. Or you defer to, I like the person, so I'd rather keep the relationship despite the fact the relationship is toxic. And that will happen again. So I think it's better to resolve that particular situation by understanding your heart in that situation. And then the second thing is have daily reflections. Daily reflections on how you felt in that position. Write them down. You can grab a notebook, you can do it digitally, and just have a thought penned down. How did I feel in that particular situation? What was I supposed to have done? What should I do next time if that situation arises? And then the third thing and the final thing is make sure you seek counsel. Let someone you are close to or you trust enough with your feelings and your emotions be able to sort of speak into that situation and speak to you about it and say, you know what? Just like Ayo went to seek counsel from his Nana, it's important that we have someone like Ayo's Nana with us as well. It might be family, it might be friends, it might be loved ones. But like I said, the key word there is someone you trust. So let's round this up. I have walked a journey where I was born into a family of two doctors that needed me to go into law. And they considered the things that I felt in my heart as hobbies. And I was told, set your hobbies aside and focus on professionalism. Become a professional lawyer, and then you can sort of do your hobbies on the side. So Ayo's story is quite relatable, and I'm sure you can also relate with it. So until the next video, please don't forget to subscribe, click the bell notification icon to be notified when we upload the video next, and see you on the next journey.